Kobe's playing style was a unique fusion of finesse, aggression, and mental toughness. He combined Magic's vision with Hakeem's footwork, allowing him to read defenses and exploit every gap with surgical precision. His jump shot became legendary not just for its accuracy, but for the way he could create space. Anywhere on the floor, Kobe's scoring wasn't just about points. It was about control, timing, and psychological warfare against opponents. He attacked the basket with fearless creativity, using spins, fakes, and hesitation moves that left defenders guessing. At the same time,
I grew up watching Magic, and I've learned so much from him. I can't sit here and be like, I'm the greatest Laker ever. To me, he is.
His work ethic transformed him into a defender capable of shutting down top scorers. Kobe's style was more than talent. It was an embodiment of relentless study, discipline, and obsession with perfection. What set Kobe apart was his ability to combine artistry with athleticism. He could glide past defenders like Magic, using deceptive speed and court vision to create opportunities for teammates. Then, with a touch of Hakeem's footwork, he would pivot, jab, or spin into his signature fadeaways, leaving opponents helpless. Kobe's offensive game was versatile, capable of scoring in isolation, transition, or post-up situations with equal efficiency. Every dribble, cut, and shot was calculated, reflecting his analytical approach to the game. He wasn't just a scorer. He was a strategist, thinking several steps ahead, anticipating defensive adjustments before they happened. Kobe's dedication to studying film, practicing endlessly, and perfecting every aspect of his game made him one of the most feared and respected players ever. His style was a living homage to the legends he admired. Kobe's mental approach was as defining as his physical skills. He adopted Magic's confidence and leadership, inspiring teammates while demanding excellence. Simultaneously, he embraced Hakeem's patience and precision, never forcing plays, but always looking for the perfect execution. His mindset, famously called the Mamba mentality, was about relentless pursuit of improvement and embracing challenges that others would shy away from. Every game was an opportunity to prove himself, and every loss was a lesson. Opponents knew they were facing not just a player, but a relentless competitor who studied them, learned their tendencies, and exploited weaknesses. Kobe's combination of mind and body mastery made him not just a player, but a phenomenon in the world of basketball. Kobe's versatility allowed him to evolve constantly. He could play as a guard, forward, or even adapt to unconventional positions when needed, much like Magic did with his ability to control any spot on the floor. His footwork, inspired by Hakeem, allowed him to create shots under impossible pressure and turn defense into opportunity. Kobe's approach to scoring was cerebral, mixing instinct with preparation, always finding ways to break down even the most disciplined defenses. He understood angles, timing, and spacing like few players ever have. This made him nearly impossible to guard one-on-one, and a nightmare for teams relying on conventional schemes. Kobe's style reflected years of meticulous study and relentless practice, transforming him into a basketball genius in motion. Kobe's obsession with greatness didn't stop at his own game. It extended to studying the legends who inspired him the most. Magic Johnson and Hakeem Olajuwon became more than idols. They were his teachers, mentors in spirit, and examples of how basketball could be mastered at the highest level. Kobe would watch hours of film, analyzing Magic's passing, court vision, and ability to make his teammates better, while simultaneously dissecting Hakeem's footwork, post moves, and defensive timing. Every spin, pivot, or hesitation move in Kobe's arsenal was influenced by Hakeem, and every no-look pass or playmaking decision echoed Magic's creativity. He didn't just want to imitate them. He wanted to internalize their essence and combine it into his own unique style. Magic and Hakeem became the framework on which Kobe built his identity as a player. Watching them, Kobe learned that greatness isn't just talent, it's preparation, intelligence, and consistency. Magic Johnson's career fascinated Kobe because of the way he dominated without forcing plays. Magic had an almost supernatural feel for the game, seeing openings before they appeared and making decisions with confidence and flair. Kobe admired this intelligence and sought to replicate it in his own way, trying to anticipate defensive schemes and always thinking the steps ahead. He studied Magic's leadership, noticing how he could command attention without arrogance, lifting teammates while still asserting control. Kobe incorporated this understanding of the game into his own approach, blending it with his natural scoring ability to become a player who could orchestrate the offense, as well as execute it. Magic's combination of talent and intelligence was a blueprint for Kobe's own versatility. By studying him, Kobe learned that vision and anticipation could be as lethal as pure athleticism. Hakeem Olajuwon, on the other hand, taught Kobe the value of precision and patience. Watching Hakeem move in the post was like observing a master craftsman at work, each pivot and spin calculated with purpose. Kobe incorporated these lessons into his own footwork, developing post moves that allowed him to create separation and score under pressure. Hakeem's defensive prowess also impressed Kobe, showing that dominance required not just scoring, but the ability to anticipate opponents' moves and react instantly. Kobe often said that Hakeem's attention to detail on both ends of the floor pushed him to refine every aspect of his game, from jab steps to shot selection. Through Hakeem, Kobe learned that greatness is a combination of patience, timing, and relentless repetition. Every move Kobe made reflected countless hours of mimicking Hakeem's precision. Magic's influence went beyond skill. It shaped Kobe's mentality and leadership on the court. Kobe understood that being a great player meant elevating those around you, just as Magic did for the Lakers in the 1980s. He studied how Magic commanded respect without intimidation, how his confidence inspired others to believe in themselves. Kobe applied this to his own teams, pushing teammates while demanding excellence, all while maintaining the aura of a player who could take over in clutch moments. He knew that leadership wasn't just about scoring, it was about vision, understanding, and influencing the entire game flow. Magic's presence taught Kobe that charisma and control could coexist, and that one could dominate a game without dominating egos. These lessons became part of Kobe's identity as both a player and a competitor. Hakeem's story, similarly, taught Kobe the art of discipline and technical mastery. Hakeem was not the flashiest player, but his work ethic and dedication were unmatched. Kobe admired how Olajuwon could spend hours perfecting his post moves, working on footwork, balance, and anticipation until it became second nature. Kobe mirrored this obsessive attention to detail, knowing that natural talent alone wouldn't sustain a legendary career. By studying Hakeem, Kobe realized that patience and repetition were keys to perfection, that every dribble, spin, and fadeaway required relentless refinement. This mindset reinforced the Mamba mentality, emphasizing that true greatness is earned, not given. Hakeem's quiet dominance resonated with Kobe's desire to control his own destiny on the court. The combination of Magic's vision and Hakeem's precision inspired Kobe to become one of the most complete players ever. While Magic taught him creativity and leadership, Hakeem taught him the mechanics of excellence. Kobe's ability to see the floor and read defenses mirrored Magic's influence, while his footwork, spins, and fadeaways were a direct tribute to Hakeem's mastery. He fused these influences seamlessly, creating a hybrid style that was uniquely his own. Kobe didn't simply emulate these legends. He synthesized their best traits and amplified them with his own competitive fire. In doing so, he honored their legacies while carving out his place in basketball history. The lessons of Magic and Hakeem were embedded in every aspect of Kobe's game. Kobe also learned resilience from both legends. Magic faced career-threatening challenges, including his early retirement due to HIV, yet remained a symbol of positivity and perseverance. Hakeem dealt with intense physical matchups, doubters, and the pressure of leading a franchise as a dominant center in a competitive era. Kobe studied how both handled adversity with composure, using challenges as fuel rather than excuses. He mirrored this resilience in his own career, bouncing back from injuries, playoff disappointments, and public criticism with renewed determination. Magic and Hakeem taught Kobe that greatness isn't just measured in points or championships, but in how one faces obstacles and emerges stronger. Magic's flair on the court also influenced Kobe's creativity in clutch moments. Kobe often cited Magic's no-look passes, improvisation, and ability to shift the momentum of a game as examples of basketball artistry. Kobe combined this with his own killer instinct, learning when to trust teammates and when to take over entirely. The balance between intuition and aggression became a hallmark of his style. Meanwhile, Hakeem's precision ensured that Kobe's improvisation never crossed into recklessness. Every move was calculated, every shot intentional. The interplay of creativity and discipline made Kobe's performances mesmerizing, a perfect reflection of the legends he idolized. Hakeem's defensive intelligence further refined Kobe's all-around game. Kobe adopted the same anticipation and spatial awareness, turning defense into offense. He studied how Hakeem would read opponents' eyes, predict movements, and react instantly as skill Kobe used to steal, intercept, and create fast break opportunities. Defense became a strategic weapon, not just a duty, and Kobe's ability to switch seamlessly between offense and defense mirrored Hakeem's holistic approach to the game. This balance of artistry, precision, and intelligence distinguished Kobe from most players of his era, showing the full impact of the lessons he learned from these two legends. Ultimately, the stories of Magic Johnson and Hakeem Olajuwon are inseparable from Kobe Bryant's journey. They provided him with models of intelligence, creativity, precision, and discipline that he molded into his own Mamba identity. Every move Kobe made was a nod to the greatness he studied, a tribute to the skills he admired, and proof that true legends are not just born, they are learned, observed, and adapted. Kobe's greatness, while uniquely his own, was a living embodiment of Magic's leadership and Hakeem's technical brilliance. Their influence shaped his career, his mindset, and the way the world remembers him forever. Kobe proved that learning from the best is the first step to becoming the best.
Michael Jordan's legend began in 1984 when he stepped onto the NBA stage as a rookie for the Chicago Bulls, a team desperate for revival. From the moment he laced up his sneakers, the league felt the presence of a player built for greatness. His explosive scoring ability, gravity-defying leaps, and unmatched hunger instantly set him apart. Fans didn't just watch him, they witnessed a rising force rewriting the game in real time. Every moment hinted that basketball had just found its new standard. As the seasons passed, Jordan refused to be anything less than extraordinary. Pushing past limits others feared to approach. His early career stats became the foundation of a dynasty in motion, turning potential into dominance. Night after night, he delivered performances that electrified arenas and silenced doubters. The Bulls transformed from underdogs to contenders under his leadership. With every record broken, he carved his name deeper into basketball history. Jordan's ascent wasn't luck. It was the pure result of relentless work, obsession, and unmatched competitive fire. Teammates spoke of his intensity, opponents feared it, and fans celebrated it. His rookie accolades, scoring titles, and all-star appearances showed the world he wasn't slowing down. Each step of his journey showed a man determined to become unstoppable. And with every game, his story grew larger than basketball itself. By the time his early years established him as a global icon, Michael Jordan had already become more than a player. He was a phenomenon. His influence spread far beyond Chicago, inspiring a generation to dream bigger, jump higher, and chase greatness with everything they had. The NBA changed because he walked into it, raising expectations for every star that followed. His beginnings weren't just promising, they were historic, and this was only the start of the legend known as MJ. Michael Jordan's rise to the throne didn't come without storms, and many of those storms formed inside his own locker room. His intensity pushed teammates to the edge, creating admiration and tension at the same time. Some players respected his fire, while others feared the pressure he brought every practice. Jordan believed that champions were made through conflict, not comfort, and that belief shaped the Bulls in ways no one could ignore. One of his most talked about controversies was his relentless leadership style, often described as brutal but necessary. Jordan demanded nothing less than perfection, sometimes snapping at teammates who failed to keep up. Stories of his confrontations became part of NBA folklore, painting him as both a hero and a tyrant. But behind the tough exterior was a man determined to build a dynasty. To him, winning wasn't optional, it was survival. The most infamous teammate clash came with Steve Kerr during a heated practice session. Jordan's competitiveness boiled over, leading to a physical exchange that shocked the team. Instead of dividing them, the moment unexpectedly strengthened their relationship. Kerr later said it was a turning point in their mutual respect. Jordan saw it as part of the fire that forged championship mentality. Another major point of tension involved forward Scott Burrell, who Jordan constantly pushed to test his mental toughness. The pressure was unrelenting, and at times seemed overwhelming to outsiders. But Jordan insisted that the playoffs demanded more than talent, they demanded heart. Burrell often became the center of Jordan's verbal challenges. It was harsh, but it was Jordan's method of preparing warriors for war. Even with Scottie Pippen, his closest basketball partner, Jordan wasn't always aligned. Their relationship had highs and lows, especially when Pippen felt underappreciated or underpaid. Jordan acknowledged Pippen's value, but also expected him to elevate under pressure. When Pippen sat out moments or expressed frustration, Jordan viewed it as a fracture in their brotherhood. Yet despite the tensions, they became one of the greatest duos in history. Jordan's rivalries were equally explosive, beginning with the bruising battles against the Detroit Pistons' bad boys. The Pistons targeted him with ruthless physicality, testing his body and spirit every game. Jordan responded by building his strength and refusing to bend under their pressure. Their rivalry became one of the NBA's greatest wars, and when Chicago finally conquered Detroit, it marked the true birth of a champion. But the rivalry had deeper layers, especially with Isaiah Thomas, the Pistons' leader. Their dislike for each other shaped years of competition, tension, and unforgettable playoff battles. The tension reached its peak when the Pistons walked off the court without shaking hands after losing to the Bulls. Many believed the bitterness lasted for decades. That moment became a symbol of two legends, built from pride and conflict. Another major rivalry emerged with Clyde Drexler, who was hailed as Jordan's equal heading into the 1992 finals. Jordan took the comparison personally and unleashed one of the greatest finals performances ever. His three-point barrage in Game 1 became basketball legend. Drexler was a superstar, but Jordan refused to let anyone share his spotlight, and the world saw the difference between great and greatest. His duel with Charles Barkley in the 1993 finals became another defining chapter. The two were friends off the court, but competitors on it. In Barkley's MVP season earned him respect, but Jordan remained on a mission. Their battles were physical, intense, and full of emotion. And when it was over, Jordan once again stood on top. The Reggie Miller rivalry also carved its place in NBA history. Miller's trash talk and fearless attitude pushed Jordan into fiery matchups full of dramatic finishes. Their battles, especially in the late 90s, felt like heavyweight fights. Miller never backed down, and Jordan respected that. But when the game was on the line, Jordan always aimed to silence the arena. Off the court, Jordan's gambling habits became one of the biggest topics of his life. Critics questioned his choices, and the media magnified every rumor. Jordan admitted he was competitive in everything, including high-stakes games, but he firmly denied that it ever affected his basketball career. Still, the conversations around it never fully disappeared. His unexpected first retirement in 1993 added another layer to the mystery surrounding Jordan. Fans struggled to understand why the greatest player in the world walked away at his peak. Jordan cited emotional exhaustion and the loss of his father as major reasons. The decision shocked the sports world and changed the league overnight. It was one of the most dramatic turning points in NBA history. Jordan's journey into baseball brought its own wave of controversy and curiosity. Critics doubted his abilities, while supporters admired his courage to chase another dream. His time in the minor leagues was filled with pressure, media attention, and endless scrutiny. But Jordan approached it with the same determination he brought to basketball. It showed the world that even legends seek new challenges. His return to the NBA in 1995 created one of the biggest moments in sports history. The simple message, "I'm back," sent shockwaves across the globe. Fans flooded arenas, desperate to witness his second rise. It didn't take long for him to reclaim dominance and lead the Bulls to more championships. The world was reminded that greatness never fades, it only pauses. As the second three-peat unfolded, more stories surfaced about Jordan's exhausting standards and the toll it took on everyone around him. Some called him inspiring, others called him ruthless. But every championship banner hanging in Chicago told the same truth. Jordan's fire shaped the Bulls into a machine built to win, and that fire became the legacy that defined him. Even in the twilight of his career, Jordan's competitive spirit never stopped creating headlines. His return with the Washington Wizards brought new challenges, new controversies, and new expectations. Some questioned his motives, while others celebrated his love for the game. But every night he stepped on the court, he reminded fans why he was still the face of basketball. His final years closed the story of a man who never stopped competing. Michael Jordan's legacy stands on the foundation of unmatched excellence, relentless drive, and a competitive spirit that reshaped the entire sport. His positive impact extends far beyond championships. He inspired millions to dream without limits. His work ethic became the blueprint for greatness across generations. The dedication he showed became a symbol of what is possible through discipline and belief, and his influence continues to echo through every player who laces up their sneakers today. But Jordan's journey wasn't without shadows, and those shadows helped shape the man behind the legend. His intensity sometimes crossed into harshness, and teammates often felt the weight of his expectations. The controversies, clashes, and personal struggles became just as much a part of his story as his triumphs. He wasn't perfect, but that imperfection made him human. It showed the world that even the greatest carry flaws beneath the shine of success. In the end, Michael Jordan remains a figure larger than sport, a reminder that greatness requires both brilliance and battle. His story is one of highs, lows, sacrifice, and glory, forever carved into basketball history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into MJ's journey, make sure to subscribe for more legendary stories. Drop a comment on who you want next, and let's continue exploring the icons of the game. Your support helps keep the legacy alive.
Magic Johnson's journey began on the gritty playgrounds of Lansing, Michigan, where crowds formed naturally every time he picked up a basketball. His smile was bright, But his game was even brighter. Even as a teenager, he dominated older players with ease. Coaches instantly realized they weren't dealing with a normal kid. They were witnessing the rise of a future superstar. At Everett High School, Magic lifted an entire program onto his shoulders. His passing ability looked supernatural for his age, and his confidence was unbreakable. Scouts packed the gym just to watch him toy with defenders. He didn't simply lead teams, he transformed them. By the time he graduated, he was already a national name. Magic's college career at Michigan State was the next explosion. His duel with Larry Bird in the 1979 NCAA Finals became the most-watched college game ever. Magic controlled the floor like a chess master, shifting momentum with every no-look pass. That night, the world realized they had just witnessed the beginning of a rivalry that would change basketball. His victory launched him straight into the NBA spotlight when he joined the Los Angeles Lakers. Magic walked into Hollywood like he belonged there. The bright lights never scared him, they energized him. His rookie season became one of the most iconic in league history. He ran the offense with swagger, charisma, and brilliance beyond his years. The entire Lakers franchise shifted the moment he arrived. That shift reached its peak in the 1980 NBA Finals. With Kareem injured, Magic stepped into the center position and delivered a performance that left the world stunned. He scored, rebounded, passed, defended everything. At just 20 years old, he played all 5 positions and won Finals MVP. The legend of Showtime was born that night. Magic's early years in the NBA were full of speed, flash, and pure entertainment. Fans didn't just come to watch games, they came to watch Magic create basketball magic. The Staples Center became a stage. Every pass, every fast break, and every smile added to the myth of the young superstar. Magic wasn't just playing basketball, he was performing. The rivalry between Magic and Larry Bird became the engine that drove the NBA into global fame. Their contrasting styles, Magic's flair versus Bird's cold precision, created unforgettable battles. Every match felt personal, emotional, and historic. They pushed each other to new heights. Without this duel, the NBA wouldn't be what it is today. Magic's leadership on the Lakers wasn't always pretty, he demanded excellence. He clashed with players in practice, confronted teammates who lacked effort, and pushed every person around him to win. Some called him harsh, others called him a genius. But no one questioned his hunger. That fire created a dynasty that defined the 1980s. The Showtime Lakers became the greatest entertainment product in sports. With Kareem's skyhook, Worthy's power, and Magic's orchestration, the Lakers were unstoppable. Magic's full-court passes were poetry in motion. He changed basketball from a slow, grinded-out game into a beautiful, fast-paced spectacle. Every night felt like a party in Los Angeles. Magic also had his share of on-court conflicts and fiery moments. He wasn't afraid to fire back at opponents who tried to get physical. He talked trash, threw sharp elbows when pushed, and protected his teammates with intensity. His competitive nature sometimes boiled over in heated confrontations, but that edge was part of what made him unstoppable. His battles with the Boston Celtics reached legendary status. The physicality, the noise, the tension, every finals meeting felt like a war. Boston fans taunted him, players targeted him, and the pressure was immense. But Magic kept coming back stronger. His 1987 junior skyhook inside the Boston Garden became one of the most iconic shots. In NBA history, Magic's public persona was charming, but behind the scenes he carried the heavy weight of fame. He talked trash, threw sharp elbows when pushed, and protected his teammates with intensity. His competitive nature sometimes boiled over in heated confrontations, but that edge was part of what made him unstoppable. His battles with the Boston Celtics reached legendary status. The physicality, the noise, the tension, every finals meeting felt like a war. Boston fans taunted him, players targeted him, and the pressure was immense. But Magic kept coming back stronger. His 1987 junior skyhook inside the Boston Garden became one of the most iconic shots. In NBA history, Magic's public persona was charming, but behind the scenes he carried the heavy weight of fame. The constant cameras, expectations, and responsibilities wore him down at times, but he always managed to lift the team's energy when it mattered. His personality was the heartbeat of the franchise. Without his leadership, Showtime could not exist. Then came the day that changed everything. November 7, 1991. Magic announced to the world that he was HIV positive. The news hit like an earthquake. Some players feared playing against him. Fans were confused. and the media exploded with speculation. HIV was misunderstood, feared, and surrounded by stigma. But Magic stood there with courage, refusing to hide. His retirement press conference became one of the most emotional moments in sports history. Magic smiled, stayed calm, and delivered a message of hope. Instead of disappearing, he educated the world about HIV. His bravery saved countless lives. He turned tragedy into awareness, fear into education, and stigma into strength. Magic's return in the 1990 All-Star Game became a global symbol of resilience. He dominated the game, hit clutch shots, and brought the crowd to its feet. In the final seconds, players from both teams embraced him, creating one of the most iconic images ever captured on a basketball court. Magic proved he was still Magic. After basketball, Magic transformed himself again, this time into a business titan. While many athletes lost money after retirement, Magic became a billionaire. He invested in neighborhoods others ignored, building theaters, restaurants, and real estate projects. His mission wasn't just profit, it was empowerment. Magic Johnson became a force in the business world as powerful as he had been in the NBA. Magic Johnson's life is a story of greatness, courage, and reinvention. From the playgrounds of Lansing to the bright lights of Los Angeles, he changed every place he touched. His battles, rivalries, and challenges shaped him, but they never broke him. Magic always found a way to rise. His HIV announcement redefined bravery in sports. His business empire redefined what athletes could become. And his smile, leadership, and joy made him one of the most loved figures in sports history. Magic didn't just play the game, he changed the world around it. Today, his legacy shines brighter than ever. Magic Johnson stands as a symbol of strength, hope, and greatness that refuses to fade. His story reminds us that legends are not defined by the challenges they face, but by how they rise above them. Thank you for watching this incredible journey into the life of Magic Johnson. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful sports stories. Your support keeps these legends alive.